Hello? Alright. Alrighty. I'm filming myself here. This is less than ideal circumstances. In any case, my name's Wes, and I'm about to tune my piano, and I'd like to show you guys what it is that I'm doing while I'm doing it. So I figured I'd record this. So this is actually day number 3 of my piano tuning experiment. So let me tune you in on what we got so far. This is my piano. There's a bunch of crap on it right now, but it is a Harvard Piano Company piano. It's a upright piano. It was not always white, as you can see. When you get in here, some jackass painted this, and they got paint all over the keys because the person that did it was obviously an idiot. I got it really cheap, but I had to get like a U-Haul to get it back to my house, and you know, all the pedals don't work. This pedal over here doesn't work, and this one's just flat out missing, but the sustain pedal's there, which is the key thing. So what I'm trying to do with this piano is just get it somewhere that's sort of passable in terms of the tuning. It is pretty consistently, I'm trying to find the best angle here, it's pretty consistently a full step, step and a half flat. So what I did was I took a tuner and I went up and down the keyboard, and I just listened to every key and just saw where it measured, just to get an overall idea of where we were at. So piano is typically going to go flat. Just like most instruments don't go sharp unless the wood is changing for some reason, but the strings themselves from playing will loosen and go flat. So as expected, this guy's flat, but I wanted to see how much. And to do this, I actually used just a guitar pedal tuner, which happens to be a strobe tuner. I found it to be terribly annoying. And a microphone plugged into a preamp that you can't see. It's around the corner here, and out with this handy guitar cable. Now at this point, like I said, I'm on day 3, and I've tuned the middle octave here. So this one's a little dodgy. Ignore those two. So for the most part, I've got this octave tuned here. Those of you with perfect pitch who probably aren't watching this video are thinking, wait, that's not a C. You're right, that's actually closer to a B. So since this piano was so terribly out of tune, what I did was I decided that I'm going to raise it gradually to pitch. So after measuring everything and seeing where we were at, I saw we were a good full step flat everywhere. So I raised the C to the nearest half step, which happened to be a B. So that's where we ended up here. So that was my first adventure. I tuned the first fourth here from the C to this F on the first day, and then I tuned all the C's octaves, except for this one. Dodgy key here that stays down, except for this guy down here. Well, that's actually not terribly out. And I didn't tune the guys, way up here at all. But that guy's pretty close. And that was Sunday. And then on Monday I came in and I started here. I started here and finished my way up to the octave. Now the reason these two keys are so far out is because they were actually less than the full step flat. So I would have actually had to detune them to get them into my key here, which is actually a half step flat. So these are actually a tiny bit sharp of where they should be to be in key here. But I didn't want to detune anything, so what's going to happen is as I gradually raise everything upwards, these will eventually get into tune. So on the second day I got through here, and then I tuned all of the G's. And going up to here. But I didn't get this guy. So what I just did before remembering that I have a video camera was I tuned this D and this E sort of arbitrarily. So we're at the stage now where I'm done with the tuner for the time being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune the entire instrument to itself, which is about a half step flat of what concert pitch would be. This is very difficult to hold this camera and do this at the same time. Once I've got it a full step flat, and then I'm gradually going to go through, it'll be off a bit at that point. I'm gradually going to raise the pitch of the whole thing, bits at a time, until I get it up to standard tuning. The issue is this is a piano that's a good 100 years old-ish. They stopped making these around 1914, 1917. And it's been horribly maintained. As you can see, the pedals are busted, and if you look in here at the felts, I'm going to turn on the light here, you can see that all these felts are grooved from where they hit the strings terribly. So you can see nobody's been maintaining this thing for years. While we're in here, I'm going to take a look. A lot of people don't know what the inside of a piano looks like. God, this is probably so boring. The first 10 or so notes are going to be single strings. The next octave and a half is going to be doubled strings, and then from this B all the way up to the top, all the strings are tripled. And that's why you'll notice things like this guy. It's one note. You know, how can it be out of tune? Well, it's out of tune because there's 3 strings there that aren't quite together. So, back to what we're doing. We were on, got this D, got this E, and now let's work on this F. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to compare that F to an F that I know about. So let me get my camera situated here. This is my good F, which is actually an E. So this guy sounded fine by himself, but he's actually a little flat there. So we're going to start with this guy here. This is a really cool little device. It's a metal stick. This is a mute that mutes the outer 2 strings of a triplet. So you see that it's a split piece of rubber on top. And what you do is you find your note, and you're actually going to stick this right in here. Actually going to put this right in here, and you'll see that it's going to mute the outer 2 strings. So I'm going to zoom in so you can get a good look at that. Pretty captivating there. Now you can hear I'm only getting the outer string. So now that I've isolated this,